Good morning. It's Friday. It's Friday. Got to get down on Friday. This is SimWorld today. Coming onto your screen right now is Rick Bonnet. I'm Marsh. Welcome in. Good morning, Rick. How are we doing?
Yeah, Big Silk is what they call me, baby. You know what time it is.
No one
It's
calls you that.
Friday,
No one
Freaky
calls you that.
Friday, Fulfillment Friday. Get it how you got to get it.
All right, Versace man. Big hoops action as we are coming down to the end of the SWBA regular seasons, which means every single night there are implications of playoff seeding. We'll start in the Eastern Conference where last night the New York Knicks take down the Boston Celtics. Another big night from Jalen Brunson. And the Knicks are now one game back of the 2 seed behind the Milwaukee Bucks. I'll ask you this. Do they even want the 2 seed? Because that could mean a first round matchup with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Nope. I don't. Well, you know what? Sure. Why not? I'm not. Every year I hear the 76ers talk. Every year I hear the Joel Embiid talk. And I've never really bought into it, but people seem to buy into it every season. So until Philadelphia becomes the team that everyone claims they're going to be, I'm still going to say they're not the team people claim that they're going to be every single year. So if you're the New York Knicks, man, you got nothing to lose. Let's go ahead and get to it. They play gritty style of basketball. They play a team game. Brunson is fantastic on most nights. I don't, the Randall situation obviously needs to be monitored, but well, not monitored. It is what it is at this point. But yeah, I'm not this big. People want to make the Philadelphia 76ers this great giant of a squad, and I've never seen it. They say it every year. I hear the same swan song every year about the 76ers, and every year I talk about them being eliminated. So if I'm the New York Knicks, man, I'm not scared. Let's do it.
I don't think now they could be proven wrong in the long run. It's very possible. But I don't think this is your cousin's uncle's Philadelphia 76ers.
Y'all say that
Uh,
every year, though.
well,
You always say
here's
that.
the differences. The differences are that normally every single season, Joel Embiid has played 60, 70 games and is breaking down or on the verge of a breakdown come the postseason. In this instance, he's actually been on the shelf for nearly 2 months. He's coming back. If there was, now, this is where I'll put the caveat. If there was going to be a time for the 76ers to buck all the trends of their past, this season would be the first of their opportunities. And I say that because they have a ton of cap space this coming summer. Things could change there. But for this season specifically, Embiid is actually coming in my opinion, at the best possible time for him. He's got 2 months of rest. He's going to be playing meaningful basketball now, so he's ramping up to something. We can talk about the injuries. We can talk about this, that, and the other. Those points are not wrong. I'm not here to try to rewrite history of the Philadelphia 76ers. Their disappointment is immeasurable, and my day has been ruined many times because of their play. But look, this is still a great basketball team. They've won 6 in a row. They've got two really great pieces in Maxey and Embiid. If I'm the Knicks, though, I'm not chasing down a potential seeding matchup right now because the Eastern Conference is chaotic. I'm going to look at my phone just because I've got my notes on it there, so I apologize. But this is the potential landing spots for every team in the Eastern Conference. Boston's locked up number one. 9 and 10 is guaranteed to be Chicago and Atlanta. The Bucks can be 2, 3, or 4. The Knicks can be 2, 3, or 4. The Cavaliers, currently 3, could be 3 through 7. The Magic, currently number 5, could be 3 through 8. The Pacers, currently number 6, could be 3 through 8. The Sixers could be 5 through 8. And the Heat could be 5 through 8. My point. You got to keep winning just to avoid something worse happening. And because
True.
there's going to be so much influx in the Eastern Conference specifically, because as it sits right now, just 3 games separate the Knicks and the Pacers. 2 games left to play for most teams, but 3 games just to show how tightly congested it is from 3 through 6. You cannot be looking around saying, "Well, we got to lose here so we can stay in 3 and avoid this, that, or the other team," because it's very possible the Sixers jump up and take over 6. They're making a leap even further to 5.
Facts. I mean, this is the time of year you don't want to lose, period. Whether it's for seeding or otherwise. You want to ramp your team up. You want to be in playing the best basketball coming down the stretch. Every game is important, if for nothing else, to prepare you to get you in that playoff mode intensity so you can get as high a seed as humanly possible. So, yeah, it's a lot of validity of well, not validity, but it's a lot of spots that's gonna be shaping up soon. I guess we'll see. It's gonna go down to the last day. But from the Knicks, and if you're talking 76ers, eh, eh, eh.
If there's going to be a team to beat Boston, I think it's Philadelphia in the East. Let's switch conferences to the Western Conference, where wins from Golden State and a loss from Sacramento has made things exceptionally interesting for the West play-in, which, again, this is a miracle that the play-in exists for the drama of this. We would be getting a race to the 8 seed. Now we're getting a race for seeding. I continue to think this is a win for the league. But what's at stake right now? The Kings, Warriors, and Lakers all at 45 wins apiece. The Kings are absolutely sputtering with losses, 2 in a row, 4 and 6 in their last 10 because of this roster that is falling apart. If you were looking at the top, your Denver, your Minnesota, your Oklahoma City, is there a team among that trio? And I'll add in this: Phoenix Suns currently sit as the number 7 seed. So let's go with those 4 teams. Is there a team among those 4 that you would be most interested in playing in the opening round?
Was the Pelicans that those 4? No, did you mention that name?
They're currently at 6 with a game up on the Suns, and they have a game coming up against the Kings.
So if I'm the Kings are the team that you're looking at and you're like, I want to play these guys because, like you said, their team is kind of depleted. They're a young squad. They're really good when they're healthy, but they haven't been healthy in a long time. So if I'm any one of those teams, give me the Kings right now while they're ailing. So first round, that way I can go ahead and try to take the boys out early because they're a different team when they're at full strength. They're not at full strength, and they've kind of been flailing towards the end here of the season. So you want to kind of kick a man when he's kind of down. So I'm ready to kick the Kings while they're down. That's what we doing.
To share the similar implications that we were talking about on the other side, potential seed possibilities. The Pelicans can go from 6 through 10. The Suns can go from 6 through 9. The Kings can be 6 through 10. The Lakers and Warriors can both be 7 through 10. It's unlikely that the Warriors get to 7. I actually don't know that I believe that stat. I'd have to do more of the math on it. They could make it. Anyway, so that's this current situation, is that there's a ton of similar that we look on the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
Granted, the Eastern Conference is among actual good basketball teams. This is among disappointing basketball teams. And you look, the Suns which is stupid for anyone to say it, but they were the best team in the NBA because of the Bradley Beal trade. That was never true. The hoopla around their minimum contract signings over the summer was completely ignorant from just these aren't good basketball players. Like Eric Gordon at 35 as my starting 2 guard. Like, give me a break. That's not actually helping me. But you look at Suns, you've got 2 of the biggest names in basketball currently.
Yeah.
The Warriors, you've got one of the biggest names. The Lakers, you've got 2 of the biggest names. And the Kings, a season ago, were the darling of the NBA or the SWBA. We're making a run. We're the 3 seed. We're the next team up in line, and they have been jumped by Oklahoma City and
they
Minnesota
almost
this
took
season.
out your Warriors last year.
Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. 50 points, game 7. What's up, Steph? I mean, it's what it is. That I-A rivalry is not happening. But this is disappointing for the league, but it's also a stunning reminder of the depth of the Western Conference. Because a season ago, 45 wins would have been, I think the Warriors had 43 or 44 wins, and they were the number 6 seed. You're looking at a top 4 seed potentially. Now you're playing in the play-in. It is an exceptionally deep conference right now, which is going to make the postseason even better. And I have to believe the Warrior or the league office wishes that the Warriors and Lakers weren't in the play-in. Not because it doesn't make the play-in interesting, because you're going to be without. If you look at this, if those 4 teams are there, there's a very good possibility. Well, not a very good, almost guaranteed possibility that 2 of 3 of KD, Steph, LeBron are not going to be in the playoffs.
Facts. And like you said, the depth of these teams and these organizations are phenomenal throughout the roof. When you talk about Phoenix, when you talk about Dallas, when you talk about teams that's been Uh, of course, the Nuggets go without saying, right? We don't even put them in the conversation because they're like in a category, a tier all by themselves. When we
Hmm.
talk about those other teams, there's a lot of things that's still left to be decided. It's going to make for a very interesting and very fun playoff matchup. I'm still on the fence with this race to 10, see who can win out type of thing. I understand. It's just a new thing, right? We're coming to a new age in the SWBA, and it is what it is. I'm a little bit old school, so I guess I just have to get out that mentality and just, hey, this was where we at. It's the top 10 teams as opposed to the top 8, and here we are.
Hey, it's all for the entertainment product, and we are there. We'll switch over to SimWorld Prep, where there's similarly some interesting races coming along. Gulf Coast Lockdown picks up a pivotal win last night. They are now a half game back of Southeast Select. Gulf Coast, again, in that region, was pretty much running away with it early on in the season. They've stumbled as of
Yeah.
late. They're righting the ship. They're a half game back, tied with the Yacht Club after a pivotal win last night over the North. Southern region, I'm not saying it's the best region. I don't know that I believe that because I have my feelings otherwise. But it's maybe one of the more entertaining ones just from we don't know what we're going to get night in, night out from the teams at the top.
Yeah, I mean, with the Southern region, you have teams that's like, what, 2 games that's sitting in fourth, fifth in the division right now. There's only 2 games back in the win column or 3 games back in the win column from the top seed. So it looks a lot like the West right now, where everything's kind of bogged down. We said the Southern region was going to beat each other up all season long. That seems to be the case. Who's going to run away with that? Is it going to be Gulf Coast? Is it going to be Southeast Select? Who's hitting their stride? Yacht Club's been playing really good lately. So those top 3 teams, they are, I think the Founders region, their top 3 teams get the most talk about. And rightfully so. But I think sneaky good, the Southern 3 top teams are pretty damn good themselves, and they be hitting stride lately. So they look really good as of the last 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Southeast Select last night, who's had just an incredible recent stretch that they've capitalized on. Now, my only fear for them, are they peaking too early? I don't know about that. I think if they might be peaking at the right time where they give themselves the opportunity to kind of cool off a little bit, right? You don't want to go in. It's one of the weird things about postseason anything. You don't want to come in too hot where you've kind of extinguished all of your, your built up capabilities. You just look at the teams that enter postseason play of any kind with long win streaks does not always result in them ending up as the champion, but they feel like it's there. I think it's impressive for Gulf Coast Lockdown that they've settled in the way they have. They come out the gates red hot. And there's a ton of hoopla around this team. There's positive, there's negative drama surrounding the spying allegations, which ultimately were deemed not to be at fault for that organization. They've then fallen off, kind of coinciding with that. And now the fact that they've reset themselves and are beginning to stabilize, to me, that's a huge point of emphasis for Coach Heesh and his ability to lead a team to say, hey, we will waver, but we will not fall apart. And the talent level of this team, particularly at the top with Kai Killens, to say, look, guys, we've got to come together. We've got to figure this thing out. And we're not just going to fold like we've seen a number of teams do where a losing streak knocks them to the bottom of their standings. A team like Beyond the Arch, which was positive moving forward. They hit a long losing streak, and that's kind of knocked them to the bottom of their region where they're probably not going to get out of that cellar. Let's move to our wrap-up. We had 7 games on the slate last night. Yesterday. We'll tip it off with Africa. Ethan Letterman Jr., 26 points in a huge win for SimWorld Africa, getting their 9th of the season at home over the Indy Stripes, 70-60.
Yo, Africa, don't look now, but they've won 3 straight games. Like when they look good, they look good. When they look bad, they look bad. The last 3 games, they've been looking good. Their guy Pierre Dupont, right, who's out with the injury. But also let's talk about Oceano getting the job done. Well, not getting the job done against Cascade, who put on 94 piece. Tyree Wells did his thing. Got to show love.
Welcome to SimWorld Prep, Coach Braden Berry. Queen City Kings fall on the road to Gotham 5, 74-70. Kashawn Colson leads the way with 15 points in 18 minutes for Gotham 5.
The originators take out H-Town 84-76. Cooper Flag does Cooper Flag things.
Hey, let's not forget, Almighty Soul does 34 things too. Avery Cooks powering Gulf Coast Lockdown. We talked about them. 18 points to lead Gulf Coast Lockdown, scoring in that one. Kai Killen 16, 69-62 win for Gulf Coast.
Shout out to the Bay. Hey, Bay. They got the dub against West Coast Ballers in a close game. It was an interesting game out of California, right? Things were shaking up, but they got the job done.
Earthquake did not stop that one. They stabilized with the suspension of Dre Pope. Last one, Red Jointer. He's been playing well. 19,
Yes,
5, and 12 last night. Cesar Castaneda adds 19 of his own, and a 70-63 win for Latin America, who continues to be figuring things out. That is our show.
Wait. I have to say this.
Go for it.
It's H-Town. We got to say this. Vincent Magic in a loss. 16 assists. He tied the all-time SimWorld record for the most assists in a single game. Congratulations to Mr. Magic. We just talked about him and where he might be going. I hope he stays somewhere in Texas, baby.
Good call out, Rick. Well placed call out, indeed. Tough to do it in a loss, however, 84-76. All right, that is now officially our show. This has been a week of SimWorld today.
Wait. Before I do that.
Lord.
Okay, that's it. I'm just making sure. Nothing. I was just making sure it still worked.
Yep. Someone mute his mic, please. That is our show. We will be back on the air Monday morning. We have no SimWorld prep games until Tuesday. However, SimWorld U conference play rolls on quarterfinals today. We should be getting the results of those this afternoon. A ton at stake, obviously, as automatic bids and at-large bids on the line in conference tournaments. We will talk to you on Monday. I've been Marsh. That's been Rick. This is SimWorld Today, and SimWorld is the only place where you can see the game, be the game.
This has been a presentation of SimWorld Sports.